Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP, let's see, Spectre x360 model 13t-y000. Okay, so first what you want to do, of course, is remove all the screws. Hopefully this thing isn't all screwed up because somebody opened it already before, I think, so pieces are missing. But I figured I'd show it anyways. So you got all the screws here. There's 4 back here, 2 on the sides, and then 2 on these sides. There's some strong clips under here. So the way I remove this actually is I use a thin pry tool up here, and I kind of like wiggle it in here. Okay. So I don't know if there's a special way to remove this, but this is the best way I found to remove it. I know you might end up breaking your machine. Be careful. So you don't want to stick the tool too far, like this, and then you kind of just pry that piece. Once you get the back up like that, then what you want to do is you kind of have to flex this up, so that way this part, oh, it came out already, but anyways, you want these hinged little pieces to clear, so you kind of have to flex the cover a little bit. Alright, but anyways, here you can see the clip mechanism under here. So when it goes back on, what you do, you actually have to do the opposite. You put this side in first, okay? Once you got that in, then you push along the sides here, okay? And then you push this bottom piece in, up this way and into there so it clips in place, okay? Just like that. Then you can put all the screws back. You can't really pry the bottom side here out because those clips will get caught and you'll probably end up just destroying the clips. So, yeah. So, I don't know, some people like to complain about the way I open it, but, yeah, I don't know. That's the best way I found that doesn't end up breaking everything, okay? So, you basically pull this back piece, back, okay? And then once you get that, you kind of pull this up, which flexes in the middle so that the sides are a little bit shorter, and that's how it comes up. And then you kind of pull up on the center here to flex in that, and that's how you release these little hinge areas, okay? So I did it twice now. There you go, just like that. And then the bottom part, you kind of just wiggle it to get it out. There we go. Alright, so for this one, we're going to be replacing the Logicboard. I don't know, they already replaced this charge port, so hopefully, I don't know, once I check with my charge port, it'll work. But anyways, we're going to remove the battery first. So the connector's here. You basically just go on the side and you kind of just wiggle the side pieces out. It'll come out like that. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to remove the battery screws. Okay, so this plastic piece for the battery holder is actually broken, so it doesn't really do anything, but we're going to take it out anyways. I don't know if there's supposed to be a screw there. I think there's supposed to be a screw in the middle here, but I guess they lost these screws because I don't see any screws there. So we're going to remove this screw down here. So if you see any screws where they aren't on this computer, just check and you probably want to remove them. Anyways, after those, we want to disconnect the speaker cable here. So same thing with the connector. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you this a little bit better. But basically, I just get my fingernails behind the connector, and then I kind of just wiggle it and keep wiggling it, and it pops out just like that. So as you can see, this has like some wings that stick out, and I just get my fingernails in there and wiggle it there. Okay, and then this you want to thread it behind. Oh, whoever did this, they didn't thread it back right. So normally this cable is threaded through the top of the battery, but they put it underneath. So this is one of the reasons I don't like working on computers that somebody else opened, because they're not put back properly, and it makes these kind of disassembly videos not too helpful. But anyways, we're gonna lift the battery out. There's, oh, okay, this speaker they didn't put underneath, so you do want to remove this speaker cable as well. Get that speaker cable out of the way, peel off this adhesive, okay? And then now we should be able to lift the battery out. Just like this. The battery HP spare part number, I don't think you can even read that, but 789116-005 or PK03XL. Okay, so we're going to set the battery aside. And we're basically just removing the motherboard, so let's undo some of these latches here. So flip this little latch up, and then you can pull this cable out. Okay, just like this, wiggle it and pull it back. There's a bunch of tape in here. You got this cable here for the trackpad. Flip that latch up. This is going to be a little difficult to remove. I'm going to use this little plastic pick tool, but basically get in underneath this cable and then pull it back. Make sure the latch is flipped up. Okay, there we go, just like that. Then we got the keyboard connector here. We're going to have to peel this foam piece off. Okay, just peel that foam up. Oh, that adhesive is gross. It's not coming up nicely. Let's see if I can just flip up the latch. No. I guess we have to peel up the foam and leave that residue there. So just peel it up. Oh, it just tore. So this foam, I guess it's really old. But anyways, you want to peel all this up. Okay. Get that foam out of the way. If you want, you can put some double stick tape and stick it back down. You might need to use some electrical tape adhesive. Alright, so anyways, there's this black latch here. Flip that up. Pull this out. I don't know why they have that foam there. It's not really needed, but we're going to put it back anyways. Alright, and then you got the keyboard backlight cable here. Flip that latch up. Pull that out. And you got this cable here, I think is for the power button. Oh, one thing I didn't mention because I already had the keyboard unplugged and drained, but I should have mentioned this earlier. Disconnect the battery first and then hold the power button down. Alright, so this one's, where's the power button is on this side. So actually the power button is connected to the board here. Yeah, so press and hold that. I'm not sure, oh, that cable's for the audio jack. Alright, so anyways, I should have mentioned that earlier. Hopefully nobody breaks their computers and they followed the, if you take out all these, it's not a big deal. But this one, the screen cable is the one that can be an issue. I am changing the motherboard, but yeah, the RAM is underneath this, but it's soldered to the board, so you can't do anything with it. I'm going to leave it in there. Okay, now we're going to remove the audio jack connector here. Flip up the little latch. Oops, it's the white latch, not the black side. And then pull that connector out. Okay, this one might be a little tricky getting the new motherboard in place because it wants to go over the top. Alright, now we'll take out this screw here for the motherboard. Alright, we're going to take out this screw for the wireless card. I probably should have taken these out first, but anyways, this is the wireless card. The antennas, if you want to take them out, you pry up from the tail, don't pry up from the front. And then you just line them up and push them down. I'm going to leave them in. I don't want to mess with them. So to get this card out, once you get the screw, you want to lift the back up slightly and then just use this raised part here to push it out. And you just rock it back and forth like that. Alright, and then let me see if I can leave the wireless card there. Yes, okay. And then the SSD, this is a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. So just take that screw out. Lift the SSD up. Okay, it might get caught by the wireless antennas, so just make sure get them out of the way. Grab the card, wiggle it, and pull it out, just like that. Okay, you got the LCD or LVDS connector. This you definitely want to press and hold the power button to drain before you do that. This cable is a real pain to take out and put back because the motherboard is there. So I'm gonna try and do that while I'm taking out the motherboard. So I'm going to take the other screw there. Alright, I don't remember if they're hiding screws under here. Somebody already peeled this up, so possibly. Oh yeah, there's one screw hiding underneath this adhesive. Take that screw out. Then there's one more screw holding this fan, the fan down here. Alright, so we got that. The fan should come out. So you can actually take the fan out. If there's adhesive holding it, then you might not be able to take the fan out, but it looks like it came out. Alright, I'm going to disconnect the fan connector. Same thing as the speaker connector, so you just wiggle it. Just like that. Oops. just like that, wiggle it, and you got the fan out. Okay, clean the fan up, it was kind of dusty. Okay, set the fan aside. Alright, so if you want, you can use a toothbrush or something to clean up this heatsink. I forgot we need to redo all the thermal paste onto the new one because the new one doesn't have the heatsink. I don't know why they took it, but... Alright, so this one is a bit risky because you do need to flex the board because both sides will be caught on this. I don't think you can just pull it up. There's an adhesive here. If you can, you want to peel that off. So I'm going to use this. Hopefully you can see everything I'm doing. Alright, so we're going to peel this off and set that aside. Okay, so now, oh, you can lift it from this side. Okay, again, be careful. This cable's a little bit tricky. You might have to use some tweezers to make that easier to take out and put back. But anyways, kind of wiggle this thing around now that we got the thing out. Okay, I think we do need to remove that, so I'm gonna use this tool to go underneath. You want to lift this slightly so that it goes past the little raised bumps there, and you have to do that on both sides. So again, this is pretty tricky, so keep that in mind. While I'm pulling it out, I'm actually lifting the board slightly. There we go, so we got that out. Okay, now make sure none of the cables are still attached, and then we want to kind of pull this board outwards. Is there anything else holding it in place? No? Okay, there we go. Alright, and then you can wiggle it around. There's the CMOS battery here, so we do need to disconnect that as well. Kind of just grab as close to the connector as you can on the wires, and then kind of just wiggle it as you pull, and just keep wiggling it. Just keep wiggling. Don't use too much force, just keep wiggling it as you pull. It'll slowly come out, and there we go. Alright, so then we got the motherboard, or the logic board. Here we go. The power button is actually soldered to the board here. So, yeah. That's these buttons, also the volume buttons, they're all soldered to the board. Anyways, we're going to transfer the heatsink over. We do have to redo the thermal paste, so I'm going to set this aside. Okay, put this down and have this anti-static foam stuff here. Alright, so to remove the heatsink, of course, just undo the 4 screws. Just like that. Oops, setting the screws aside so I can put them back. Okay, second one, 3rd screw here, and 4th screw here. Okay, once you do that, you don't want to just pull up on this because if the thermal paste is dried on, it can damage it. So what you do is you actually twist it like this. Okay, and then while you're twisting it, you can kind of lift it out. So there you go. That's all the old thermal paste. It's pretty gross. Usually you want to take a napkin and clean that all up. I'm going to peel this all off so I can transfer this over. Okay, so let me get a napkin. Alright, so we got that. You want to wipe this stuff off. Well, this is the old board, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to wipe it off so it doesn't get all over my stuff when I put it down somewhere. Okay, so just clean it up as good as you can. Usually you'd want to hold this over a trash can upside down, so when you wipe it, all the thermal paste actually falls into the trash can. But this thermal paste, since it was still kind of fresh, it actually came out okay. So we're going to set the board aside now. Alright, now we got to clean this up. I'm going to hold this over a trash can. I don't know if I can show this. Just hold this. You can see my garbage in there. Alright. Alright, and then just wipe that off. Just like that. Okay. Once you get that done, you want to get some isopropyl alcohol and also take the replacement board out. Okay, so the replacement board actually came with a CMOS battery, so maybe I'll just leave that there and peel out the other one. I don't know why there's like paint leaking down here. My customer brought me this, so we'll see here. Okay, got a piece of paper, put some isopropyl alcohol on it. Right, then you want to wipe this down, make sure it's nice and clean. I'm getting like broken bits of stuff all over my desk. Here you go, look how dirty it is. Dry it off. I folded it over and I'm using a dry side now. Then same thing with this one. Okay, it should be okay if it's brand new, but sometimes if you buy it, because it's usually pulled from another computer, then you want to clean that off as well. Oops, I'm getting pieces of paper all underneath this stuff. Alright. Clean that all up. Oops. What is all this junk? Get that out of my way. Clean that off. Clean that off. Use a toothbrush if it's stuck there. Okay. There we go. Alright, so now we need some thermal paste. Let me grab some thermal paste here. Which drawer do I have it in? Huh. What did I do with all my thermal paste things? Thought I had like a million. Oh, it's probably on the other side. What? Okay. My tubes of thermal. Oh, okay. I'll use this one. Alright, so grab the thermal paste. You don't really use much. You'll use like about the size of a grain of rice. Excuse me. Let's zoom in and I will show this now. You can see how shiny that thing is. Alright, so you just squeeze a bit of the thermal paste on there. This one is close to a square, so you actually put like a ball of thermal paste on it. You can slightly make it go out like a grain of rice, but it doesn't need to go too much because this is like a square shape. Okay, so just like that. This one is super thin, so you need very little. This stuff, when you put it, it spreads very thin, so you don't need to completely cover and put like a whole bunch, okay? So as you can see, I put like a little bit and I'm actually just spreading it to a very small thin line across. And the reason I do that is when you push the thing down, it'll spread the paste out and that paste will push all the bubbles, the air pockets out instead of forming air pockets, okay? So you kind of want the top to be taller, so when you push it down, it will spread it out. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more to this one. Oops, that's probably too much, but go just like that. Okay, you don't want too much because then it'll all just go all around the chip there and all the heat is on the centerpiece there. So let me see if I can show you better. Just like that. Here you can see from the side. Alright, just like that. Okay. And then what you do, you want to put this back on. They actually have it labeled 1 and, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So line this up. Oops, sorry, it's going off screen. So line this up again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so hopefully you can actually see what I was pointing to. I'm gonna line this back up. Alright, this one can be a little tricky. And what you do is you take the screw. I like to twist it backwards so you hear a click. And then 1, 2. Alright, only twist it twice a little bit. Let's zoom out a little bit. Alright, then you go to the second one. Same thing. Oops. Twist it backwards. You hear it click. 1, 2. Get the third one. Same thing. Twist it backwards. 1, 2. Alright, other side. 1, 2. And then go back in the screw. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you can tighten it all the way down if you want. 4. Okay. So it takes like 5 or 6 more twists after that on this one, but you get the idea. So now that you do that, because you push these two sides, it kind of more evenly spreads the pressure to spread out the thermal paste underneath. And this metal is kind of like a spring, so it actually keeps applying pressure downwards into the thing. Alright, so let's grab the computer back, the rest of it, and we're going to put the motherboard back in. Alright, we're going to peel the old CMOS battery out, since we don't need that. Okay, peeled that off. Alright, oh, this one has a new sticker, so I'm going to peel the foam off as well. Sorry, this kind of, you can fast forward through this part. This foam sticker doesn't want to peel off, but you get the idea. I'm probably going to end up leaving some foam residue on there. Okay, because it doesn't want to peel off completely. Alright, oh, sorry, I was probably going out of view of the camera. You get the idea. Peel off that foam. Okay, grab the motherboard or logic board. The CPU is soldered to the board if you're wondering, so you can't upgrade it. Okay, and then we're going to have to put this side in first. The trickiest part is just keeping all of these cables out of the way. So I kind of hold these cables while I kind of get this part underneath. Just like that. Okay, then you kind of have to tilt it slightly upwards at an angle to get these ports in, mostly the USB-C port. And then you want to get all these other cables out. The hardest part is this video cable, so we're gonna, let's see if I can use this tool to kind of push it out of the way while I lift it up, just like that. Okay, and then make sure you get all the other cables out, just like that. Oh no, it's going back up. Okay, make sure you get the motherboard in the right way. This part is getting caught, so make sure you get this little circle to go on top, or go through. Okay, then we got this. Again, the hard part is getting this cable back in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this because I have to stick my head over the top. Let me zoom in actually, and that might make it more easy visible for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Maybe I can use this little pick tool and kind of push on the little wings to get it in. Oh, I might need to move my head over the top and you won't be able to see, because yeah, this is super difficult to do at this angle. Well, I'm going to pull the wire out so you can see I can pull it out a little bit. I don't know if that's going to help, but let's try. I've done a few of these before and they're always a pain. I don't think I can do it this way, if I remember. Yeah. So you do have to have this like that. And then the hard part, just try and get the wings in. Okay, it's working with this little pick. Here we go. And then pull that in. I made that look easy, but it's a pain. Okay, there we go. So we got that. You can put the fan back in place. Make sure you have it the right way with the, oops, sorry, let me zoom back out. Okay, put the fan back in place with the gold pin sticking up. At least I think that was how it was, right? Let's make sure. Yep, okay. The gold pins open, exposed gold pins sticking up. You want this little metal piece to go underneath the heatsink, so make sure you tuck it from this side first. Okay, grab that. Now we'll grab the screws for the fan, tighten them down. Or I put them in loosely first. Alright, just like that. Make sure all the cables are on top, just like before, because we are going to have to tuck all those in. This part is coming out again, so you do have to kind of lift the middle up while you push that down. There we go. Got that all lined up. This piece, you can peel off the protective backing, assuming it has one. Yep. Okay, so you can peel off that and stick that battery down, just like that. I probably should have just reused the old battery, but that's fine. Then we'll take out the keyboard backlight cable. Make sure the latches are up. slot it in, flip that down. Keyboard cable, same thing, lift it up, bend it downwards like that, slot it in. Make sure that the little wings pass the raised bumps on the sides. Okay. Alright, then we got the trackpad cable. Come on, come in. This one's kind of tricky. You have to kind of pull up the center and then push the thing down to get it in the slot, right? Come on. Here we go. Alright. And then make sure you push the blue piece to keep it in, and then push the latch down. SD card slot, okay. Same thing. Tilt it downwards in the slot, push it in. There we go. Alright, I'm going to tighten up the screws for the fan. I like to pull the fan to the side so that it's as close to the heatsink as possible. There we go. You can put this adhesive strip back on here. Okay, just like that. Okay, now we got this screw. Oh man, did they put a little thing here? They put a warranty void sticker here, so if you put the screw in, it's gonna break that hole. So I'm gonna try this first without putting that. Though I don't know where they got it, so I don't know. Hopefully they can return it if they need to. Okay, we're gonna put the SSD in, just like that. Make sure it's going around the Wi-Fi antennas. Okay. And we're gonna reattach, put this screw back in. Wireless card, push it back, get it lined up, pull it back in. When you put this, make sure the antennas go around this screw post, otherwise you'll smash the wire and you can damage it. Okay. So put that, tighten that down. Go, grab the other screw here, put that in as well. Alright, now we need the headphone jack connector here. Make sure the latch is up. Slot that in. Okay, come on. You gotta kind of pull it back some. And then make sure it's in the slot. Put the latch down. There we go. Now we will get the battery. If you want, you can put these little foam pads back on. They're not going to stick, but just kind of have them in place. If you want, you can kind of push on it. It might stick a little bit. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Now we'll grab the battery. So again, this speaker cable went on top of the battery. So it goes underneath the battery cable, I think, and then on top of the battery itself. The speaker cable also, oops, sorry, you can't even see what I'm doing. Let me zoom out some more. Alright, so this cable goes underneath the battery cable and then on top of the battery. This cable is supposed to also go on top of the battery to go through those guides. You have the metal pins exposed facing up for the connector. Then just grab it, push it in with your fingernail on the connector itself, not using the wire. Same thing with this one. Alright, sorry about that, someone called, but basically I reattached the speaker cable on both sides. Then I think all that's left is the battery cable, so plug the battery cable back in. Okay, just line it up and then squeeze it back in. There we go. Get the cable to go around the speakers, and then we can put the screws to hold the battery back down, even though this screw's not really holding anything anymore. Alright, then we'll get the other screw here, and then the other screw at the bottom here, and hopefully this will work. I'm going to try with this charge port that I got. It doesn't seem like it will actually reach, so it'll be, I can test it while it's outside of the computer, Again, there's one screw that's supposed to go there, but that will void the warranty on the board, so I'm just going to try it without that. Alright, this screen's all broken, or they put tape on it for some reason, but oh yeah, it is cracked. Alright, so let's see if it powers up. So far nothing. Okay, I'm going to have to plug this in. So this one, you put the metal pins facing up as well, the exposed pins. I don't know if you can see that. And just slot in the new power connector. Alright, and now let's plug this in. Do I have the charger here? That's not the right one. Okay, let me grab the charger. I will be right back. Alright, so I got the charger. We're going to plug this cable in. Hopefully the sign it was doing before, this light was just flickering, so hopefully it's going to actually stay on. Okay, see the orange light is staying on. Before it kept just flickering on and off. So that's a good sign. Let's open this. Open that. Hopefully when I push the power button, this one will just stay on. So let's push that. The power button light is staying on. That's a good sign. Fan is spinning. Hopefully it's going to boot up. And hopefully everything will come up on the screen. Since the CMOS battery was replaced, usually this will take a while to boot up, and then it's going to give a message. Oh, here you go. So it gives this message that the CMOS was reset. Sometimes it takes a really long time, and it's scary because then you think the computer's broken. But yeah, so we'll wait for it. It's booting up. It's weird. I didn't press enter. It just went on its own. Manufacturing programming mode is in unlock mode. Huh. Okay. So the following product information programmed to the system board is missing. I wonder how they enter this information. I don't have the tool to do that. So this board is actually a bare board without the proper serial numbers and stuff, but it's working. So there you go. That's all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe because that'll help others find this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.